What if I told you that the financial freedom you are desperately chasing is not something you have to earn through blood, sweat, and tears, but something you simply have to accept? What if every extra hour you spend grinding in the 9 to 5, trying to force money to appear, is actually the very obstacle pushing it away? This contradicts everything the system has taught you. You have been programmed to believe that wealth is the result of struggle, that you trade time for money, and that success is a ladder you climb one painful step at a time. But there is a different way, a hidden path that bypasses the struggle entirely. This is a difficult truth for the logical mind to process. Your intellect has been trained to trust only what it can see, touch, and audit. It lives entirely in the world of effects, obsessing over the numbers on a screen, completely ignoring the infinite world of cause. Stay with me, because we are not talking about simple positive thinking or motivational fluff here. We are about to dismantle the illusion of the hard work myth and dive into the supreme art of consciousness alchemy. This is the secret that the great mystic Neville Goddard called living in the end. This is the specific method for unlocking immediate wealth. And I know that word, immediate, triggers skepticism. Most of you listening are intimately familiar with frustration. You know the crushing weight of waiting for your ship to come in. You have visualized until your head hurts. You have repeated affirmations until your voice went hoarse. You have written, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times in your journals, trying to convince yourself that you are free. But then you open your eyes, and the 3D world is still there, staring back at you with its demands. You look at the stack of bills on the kitchen table. You check your bank balance on your phone, and the silence of your reality screams a different story. In that moment, your faith crumbles. The feeling of hope evaporates, instantly replaced by the dull, grinding anxiety of your current situation. This oscillation, this emotional pendulum swinging violently between the high of a meditation and the low of paying rent, is the exact battlefield where your financial independence goes to die before it ever has a chance to breathe. The fundamental problem lies in a corrupted perception of time and creation. You continue to view wealth as a future destination, a retirement plan, a milestone to be reached after you have paid your dues. You are operating from the consciousness of the seeker, not the consciousness of the owner. And the law of consciousness is impartial and absolute. It does not give you what you want. It gives you who you are. As long as your dominant state is, "I am trying to get rich," the universe can only reflect the act of trying, keeping freedom permanently out of reach. Neville Goddard, with his piercing clarity, tore through this veil of illusion. He taught that creation is already finished. Everything you could ever desire, total freedom, the ability to travel, the house, the resources to help your family, exists right now. It is not in the future. It is in the vast, invisible landscape of your divine imagination. You do not have to build your empire brick by brick in the outer world first. You have to select it and occupy it in the inner world. The work is not physical labor. The work is an internal shift of position. The immediacy of wealth is not about how fast the wire transfer hits your account, It is about the immediacy with which you can assume the state of consciousness of the person who already has it. Living in the end is not an act of fiction. It is not fake it till you make it. That phrase is a profane distortion of a divine principle. Faking it implies a duality. It implies that you are here, stuck in the rat race, pretending to be there, living your dream life. That mental effort creates tension, and tension is the enemy of manifestation. Neville's art is much deeper and far more elegant. It is an act of assumption. It is a radical shift of identity. You are not pretending. You are declaring the truth about your nature. You are moving your psychological dwelling place. Consider this. When you go to sleep at night, you know with absolute certainty that your bed is underneath you. You do not hope it is there. You do not try to believe it is there. You simply know it, and you relax into that knowing. That deep, settled security is the feeling of living in the end. It is a calm, serene, and absolute acceptance that what you desire is already a finished fact in the higher reality, the only true reality, your consciousness. Your wealth is as real as the bed you sleep on. The question you must ask yourself is not, how can I get the money? But rather, how would I feel, and what would I be if I were already the person who has total financial independence? The answer to that question is the portal. The feeling that arises from that answer is the key. Living in that feeling is the method. To think from that feeling, rather than thinking of it, is the secret to immediate wealth. It means that, mentally, you are no longer reacting to the world of shadows and limitations. You are acting from the world of cause. This requires an ironclad inner discipline, a true mental diet, as Neville called it. It means withdrawing your attention from the evidence of your senses when they contradict your fulfilled desire. Your senses only report the past. They are showing you the results of your old thinking. But you are the alchemist. You are no longer interested in the shadows of yesterday. As the master of your own consciousness, you are too busy projecting the light of tomorrow today. Many people get stuck right here. They ask, but how can I feel wealthy when I have student loans and maxed out credit cards staring me in the face? This is where the art is practiced. You do not deny the debt. That is delusion. Instead, you redefine it. In your imagination, you do not see a demand for payment. You see a receipt for a transaction already completed. You feel the gratitude for the abundance that allowed you to clear that balance with a single click. You are not lying to yourself. You are telling the truth to your reality, imposing your divine will upon the malleable substance of life. This is the first step to stop being an effect and start being the cause. It is the shift from a sleepwalker reacting to the economy to a conscious creator directing the flow. Immediate wealth is not an external event. It is an internal revolution. It is the decision made right now to occupy the state of your fulfilled desire and to remain faithful to that inner dwelling place until the outer world has no choice but to conform. Let me illustrate this principle with a modern parable, a case study that captures the essence of this transformation. Imagine a man we will call Richard. Richard wasn't just in debt, he was under siege. Every phone call was a collection agency. Every email was a reminder of a payment he couldn't make. His reality was a deafening chorus of insufficient funds. He had tried everything: the hustle culture, working double shifts, the side gigs that promised freedom but only delivered exhaustion. His consciousness was firmly rooted in the state of the struggling man trying desperately to survive. Richard was the epitome of frustration, a perfect reflection of that emotional pendulum we discussed. One evening, in a moment of sheer desperation, he stumbled upon the teachings of Neville Goddard. The phrase, "living in the end," hit him like a lightning bolt. At first, his logical mind rejected it. "Live as if I'm rich? That's insanity. That's a lie," he shouted into the silence of his cramped apartment. But his desperation was greater than his skepticism. He realized the hustle wasn't working because his internal setting was broken. He decided to try it, not as a game, but as a scientific experiment of consciousness. That night, he made a pact with himself. He would not go to sleep as Richard, the man drowning in debt. He would go to sleep as Richard, the financially independent success story, a man whose main concern was how to best manage and distribute his vast surplus of capital. Instead of mentally counting his bills, Richard lay in bed and began to plan his donations. He constructed a scene that implied he had more than enough. He felt the texture of the pen in his hand as he signed a generous check to a charity he cared about. He didn't just visualize the image, he engaged his senses. He felt the warm, quiet pride, not arrogance, but the deep satisfaction of having the power to make a difference. He imagined a conversation with his financial advisor, discussing investment portfolios and tax strategies, not payment plans. He asked himself the golden question: how would a man like this feel? The answer came instantly. He wouldn't feel hyper-excited or surprised. He would feel normal. He would feel calm, secure, and in control. Wealth would be his natural atmosphere, not a miraculous anomaly. Richard clung to that sensation of normalcy. He fell asleep in that state, letting the feeling of relief wash over him. The next morning, for the first time in years, he didn't wake up with a knot of anxiety in his stomach. He woke up feeling simply like Richard. But the Richard who woke up was the one who had fallen asleep, the successful man. Of course, the shadows were still there. The phone rang, and his old reaction of fear tried to surface. But the new Richard looked at it differently. Instead of panic, he felt a sort of detachment, almost a compassion for his old self. This is just an echo of the old state, he thought. It doesn't belong to me anymore. I have moved. He continued this practice every night without fail. This became his SAT, the sacred window where he impressed his subconscious mind. During the day, he practiced a strict mental diet. When a thought of scarcity knocked on the door of his mind, he didn't fight it. He observed it and then deliberately returned to his end. He asked himself, how would a wealthy man view this? Perhaps he would see a bill as a simple administrative expense, insignificant and easily handled. And so he did. He stopped looking for proof in the external world. He had planted the seed, and he knew that once a seed is planted in the fertile soil of consciousness, the harvest is inevitable. The immediate wealth for Richard wasn't a lottery win the next day. The immediacy was the instant shift in his state of consciousness. It was the immediate relief from anxiety. It was the immediate peace that came from knowing the battle was over because it had already been won within. The external world, the mirror of your reality, took a few weeks to catch up, but then it began to move. Richard received a call from an old colleague, not for a loan, but regarding an unexpected consulting project with a significant retainer. A small debt was mysteriously cleared due to a bank administrative error. Opportunities began to flow, not like an overwhelming flood, but like a steady river that grew deeper every day. These opportunities, however, weren't just lucky breaks. They were perfectly aligned with his new state of consciousness. They were the bridge of incidents that his divine assumption was building to physically transport him to where he already dwelt mentally. Richard hadn't attracted wealth. He had simply allowed the wealth that was already his to manifest by removing his consciousness from the obstacle of lack. Richard's story is not a fairy tale. It is an instruction manual. It shows you that your job is not to change the external economy or force clients to pay you. Your job is to change your concept of yourself. The external world is clay, obedient to the form your imagination imposes upon it. If you live mentally in the state of "I'm broke," the clay will harden into that shape. If you choose, with the authority of a creator, to live in the state of "I am financially free," the clay must, by divine law, melt and reform according to your new internal mold. The mistake you are making is constantly checking the mirror. You look frantically to see if your manifestation has arrived yet. But this is like planting a seed and digging it up every 5 minutes to see if it's growing. Leave the seed alone. Your only job is to water it with the feeling of your assumption. The how, the logistics, the channels, the checks, is none of your business. The how is the domain of the subconscious, that deeper wisdom that knows how to translate the invisible into the visible. Many skeptics say, "But it feels like I'm lying to myself." Let me ask you, is it more true to believe your senses, which only show you the frozen past, or to believe your "I am," the power of God within you, which tells you that you are who you imagine yourself to be? The real lie is denying your creative power. The real lie is accepting the tyranny of your current circumstances as the ultimate reality. You are not lying. You are exercising your divine prerogative to choose which reality you will experience. When you commit to living in the end, you are making a power move. You are telling the universe, "I no longer accept the evidence of my senses as final. I only accept the evidence of my imagination. And because I have imagined it and felt it as true, it is true." This is not arrogance. It is absolute faith in the only cause. Immediate wealth is this: the immediate realization that you are the operant power. It is the shift from being a victim of the economy to being the architect of your reality. Consider the story of Anna. Anna was a talented graphic artist, but her career was a masterpiece of almost. She almost got the big grant. She almost landed the high-ticket client. She almost went viral. She lived in the perpetual state of frustrated hope. Her identity was the struggling creative. When she encountered Neville's teachings, she immediately understood her error. She wasn't living in the end. She was living in the middle, in the limbo of waiting to be picked. She decided to radically change her self-concept. She would no longer be the freelancer looking for work, but the in-demand designer turning down projects. Her method for living in the end was subtle but profound. She started journaling, but not a journal of desires. She wrote as if it had already happened, using the past tense. "Today was incredible," she wrote. "I remember when I used to struggle to find a single client, and now I have to put people on a wait list. The feeling of freedom is overwhelming." She wasn't writing fiction. She was scripting her new truth before it hardened into fact. She was giving orders to her subconscious on what to record as reality. When she sat down to design, she no longer worked to get paid. She worked from success. She felt the calm confidence of a master whose work is already sold. This shifted the energy of her output. The desperation vanished from her emails and her portfolio, replaced by a boldness and freedom she had never known. She stopped sending begging emails to agencies. Instead, in her imagination, she received their calls. She felt the vibration of her phone, answered it, and heard the voice of a creative director offering her a contract. She felt the quiet joy of done, and then returned to her day. In a matter of weeks, the inevitable happened. A minor design blog, which had ignored her pitch months ago, stumbled upon her updated portfolio. Struck by the new energy of her work, they wrote a feature piece. That article was seen by a major tech startup looking for a rebrand. They contacted her, and that single contract opened doors that previously seemed welded shut. Anna hadn't manipulated anyone. She hadn't engaged in massive action or burnout strategies. She hadn't simply changed who she was internally, and the world reorganized itself around her new identity. This brings us to the practical application, your daily mental diet. From this moment on, you must become the ruthless guardian of the door to your mind. But do not use force. Force implies resistance. You operate from grace. When a thought of lack appears, and it will because it's a habit, do not fight it. Observe it without judgment, like a passing cloud in the sky of your consciousness. And then, gently but firmly, bring your attention back to the end. Bring your mind back to the sensation of your financial freedom already accomplished. If you receive an unexpected bill, instead of spiraling into anxiety, the state of lack, use it as a trigger. In your imagination, take that bill, stamp it, paid in full, and feel the surge of relief and abundance that comes with handling it effortlessly. You are not trying to trick the electric company. You are reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are teaching it a new automatic reaction. You are transforming poison, fear, into medicine, faith. If a friend starts complaining about the economy or inflation, do not join that choir. You don't need to argue or try to fix them. In your mind, listen to them, but do not accept their reality as yours. Within yourself, stand firm in your state of wealth. Mentally, bless them, imagine them succeeding, and then continue to dwell in your end. You are in the world, but you are not of the world of shadows. You are an ambassador from the kingdom of cause. This is the true work of the alchemist. It is not a job of hammer and chisel. It is a job of thought and feeling. It is the subtle art of controlling your inner conversations. What are you saying to yourself from morning to night? Are you repeating the story of the struggle? Or are you mentally rehearsing the conversations of success? Your inner speech is the rudder that steers the ship of your life. As Neville said, change your inner talking and you change your world. Immediate wealth, therefore, is the result of your commitment to living in the end right now, not tomorrow, not after you see proof, now. It is the decision to trust your imagination more than your senses. It is the decision to believe that your I am is the truth and everything else is just a shadow. So I ask you to stop being a spiritual beggar. Stop praying to a God outside of yourself, hoping He will throw you some crumbs of abundance. You are not a beggar. You are the king or queen of your universe. The kingdom of heaven is not a future place. It is your current state of consciousness. And the key to that kingdom is your wonderful human imagination. When you live in the end, you are not hoping, you are commanding. You are exercising your divine birthright. You are the alchemist. Your consciousness is the crucible, and your persistent feeling is the fire that transmutes the lead of scarcity into the gold of abundance. The world has trained you to be a slave to your senses, to react like a puppet to the news, to other people's opinions, and to bank balances. Today, you cut those strings. You declare your emancipation. Your wealth does not depend on a job, the economy, or luck. Your wealth is a state of being that you choose, assume, and occupy. And when you do this with faith, staying in the Sabbath, the world must conform. That is the law. It is not a possibility, it is a certainty. Stop looking back at the old self. That person died the moment you chose to live in the end. Do not honor their memory by complaining or doubting. Your only job now is to remain faithful to your new identity. Be the wealthy person now. Think from that perspective. Feel from that perspective. Walk mentally in those shoes. How would you treat others? How would you feel waking up? Occupy that state until it becomes so natural that the idea of lack feels foreign, absurd, like a coat that no longer fits. This is the art. It isn't complex, but it demands dedication. It requires you to love your inner truth more than you fear external shadows. Immediate wealth is your immediate acceptance of this truth. If this resonates with your being, if you feel a shiver of recognition, then I ask you to make a symbolic gesture. Hit the like button, not as a mechanical action, but as a seal. A seal on your old consciousness, an act of accepting this new understanding. Now, to anchor this revelation, I invite you to participate in this creative act. Go to the comment section and declare your new sovereignty. Do not write, "I hope," or "I will." Write the most powerful declaration of cause that exists. Comment now. I am the end. Write it and feel it. Feel the calm, absolute power in those words. I am the destination. I am the desire fulfilled. Subscribe to Feeling is the Secret and turn on notifications to join our laboratory of awakening. You are the alchemist, and the world awaits your instructions.